some of the excitement in yeah, I thought it was an exciting landing. Let's listen to it.
Down in 4, give me one quick up. Backing up slightly. Take her down. Stand by for contact. Let her down. She'll level off. Let her on down. Okay, 76%, plenty fast. Contact. Stop.
A little bit of excitement on the limb there, huh?
Well, I mean, you got to be excited after a 6-hour delay. We almost aborted that mission because of the problem in the command module. And so we were 6 hours behind schedule. And now, I mean, you can imagine when after the problem in the command module and we were 250,000 miles, you could see your landing spot 8 miles beneath you and they're about ready to say, come home. And so when we landed, we were very, very pumped.
This is home base. This is what it looked like for the latter missions with the lunar, the rover. And that allowed, on 16 and 17 in particular, you guys had the opportunity to really go far afield. Charlie, how far did you were you able to drive that thing? How much did you put on the odometer?
We put 17 miles on our car, and the farthest we went was about 4.5 miles. And that was going south the second day, and then north the third day, about 4.5 miles each way.
Now, you talk about all these simulations, and there's one thing you really can't simulate very well on Earth, and that is the 1/6 gravity of the moon, and that creates some, well, a pilot would call it a center of gravity problem. Let's take a look at you. This is you, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Let's watch what happens when you kind of stumble.
Well, I'm pushing an experiment called a lunar penetrometer in, and it went all the way in, which surprised me. So down I went.
So right? You've fallen in and you can't get up, right?
I only weighed 60 pounds up there, so here we go. And one push, not quite, almost, and there we are. It took me about 3 push-ups.
Very well done. This is actually another fall you had. Where you guys
that's me on the left here, setting the high jump record, and that was scary. That looked funny, but that was scary because I'm falling on my back, on the backpack, and it's very fragile. And if that thing had a plumbing break, connector break, I'm dead. And so my heart was pounding. Fortunately, I rolled right and broke my fall on my right side, and John helped me up. And I got real quiet. You could hear the pumps running in the backpack and all of that. And I knew I was okay. And then I looked up, and that fear turned to embarrassment because the TV camera was pointed right at me. That ended the Moon Olympics, by the way.
No more Olympics. No more Olympics. But there was a Moon Grand Prix. Let's take a look at that a little bit. This vehicle was something. Gene, tell us a little bit about what it was like to drive this thing on the moon. Gene, yeah, what was it like driving that thing on the moon?
I tell you, 1/6 gravity is the most wonderful experience you can have. 0 gravity is for the pigs. It looks like they have fun, but you can't lay something down, you can't put water in the glass. It's at 1/6 gravity, you weigh 1/6 as much. You can do so many other things that takes you about that long to get accustomed to it. And driving this car was something else. What did the car weigh, Charlie? I don't know, but we could pick it up and move it around if we had to.
On the moon, it weighed 80 pounds.
80 pounds. And it was, you know, that lunar module when we landed looked like the old hillbillies pickup truck, you know, with the piano strapped to the side. That's what it looked like. And this thing was folded up into a little box, and we had to almost assemble it. It just is John Young driving here, and I love this. For some reason, I didn't do that. Charlie, that's yours.
Charlie, this is my absolute all-time favorite moonshot, and you need to explain this. This is your family, and this picture is on the moon, and it's still there now. Tell us about that.
Well, I wanted to get you can see in the picture, I had 2 young sons at the time, and the one on the left was just turned 7, and the little boy on the right is Tom, and he was coming up on 5. So I wanted to get them involved in the the mission in some way and say, boy, you're going to be on the moon. And so I got Deke Slayton to give me permission to take this photograph. And on the back of the photograph, we'd written, "This is the family of astronaut Charlie Duke from planet Earth who landed on the moon on the 20th of April." And we all signed it.
That's
and
awesome.
so I had it put in plastic and then dropped it onto the moon. And if you'll notice, it's beginning to curl up on the sides. Well, the temperature on the surface of the moon at this point was 235 degrees Fahrenheit. And so the picture didn't last very long, but it lasted long enough for me to get a picture of the picture, and it was very, very special.
So that picture isn't there anymore because of the
Well,
heat.
it's there, but it's all shriveled up. Yeah.
It's there. All right, so let's take a look at what it was like to be strolling on the moon. This is kind of interesting.
Hey, John, I will take that SCB number 2, my camera, and I'm heading home. Okay.
I love the expression here, Charlie, that you're heading home. And I want you both to talk about that. You can turn down the audio a little on this one. Did you feel as if, in a sense, the LEM was your home?
Yeah, I mean, that was your home. It was the house. I mean, it was your living quarters. It was kept you alive, and so we didn't have any place else to go. That was home.
Gene, was the LEM home too? Did you
That's the
feel
only
that
time
way?
I've ever lived in government housing, by the way. Very small, and it was home. And when we got in, and we'd been out there, in our suits anywhere from 7 to 8 or 9 hours. And by the time we got back in, we had to take our suits off. And now instead of 2 men in that small spacecraft, we had 4. Because the suits took up that much room. But we had to do that. We had to dry the suits out. We had to get comfortable. It was a time to relax. And people say, just sleep on it. You relax, but you need 2 things in life to exist: sleep and water. And we got that downtime on our own, which was important. But yet I remember that first night I went to sleep, and as I'd come all this way, and I looked and peeked out the window, and Charlie said it's daylight, and it was. I looked at the flag and looked at our footprints, and we had 2 more days to go. And I said, it's a waste of time. Why should I go to sleep? I'm only here for 75 hours. Let's get on with it. You're a biological slave to what we are as human beings.
I want to talk a little bit about this. Is your little module, Charlie, and I don't know if you folks can see it, but there's actually some damage up here. What happened on your ascent?
Well, when we lifted off, the rocket exhaust was deflected into the descent stage and came